Okay, there was clearly a short circuit somewhere, because one of my wires just burned the fuck up. Welcome back to Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. Coming at you from my backyard. Usually I'm in the front yard. Today we're in the back. And the reason is because we have to go into my garage tent over there to go pick up some parts out of the back of Ruby. And I've discussed it before, but I actually have a spare distributor underneath that back seat. Now we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but the first question I'm going to answer you guys, normally it's Q&A videos where I answer the questions, but the question pertains to this channel. People have been asking, hey, Duckman, where you been all week? And the answer is, I've been over on my other YouTube channel. If you haven't been over there and checked out VV the Duck VV as well as Skeeter the Duck, then you're missing out. Because actually I've uploaded probably about 4 videos in the time that I've been away from this channel. So, you know, please check it out over there. Please subscribe. And also don't forget, we got a Facebook group page, Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. And you can also email me if you like, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks for giving me the likey. All that stuff really means a lot to me. It's really important. And, you know, once again, thank you. I couldn't have gotten to this 18,000 subscribers without you guys really pushing me to it. It's been all you guys have been hitting that subscribe button that really made it matter. And I just gotta say thanks. I really have to say thanks. Anyways, we'll be back right after the intro. Alright, well we're back. How about that? 18,000 subscribers. I still can't believe it myself. And I mean, it's an accomplishment on my part, but again, I just couldn't have done it without you guys hitting those buttons, you know. You gotta click the subscribe button and plug that dingle belly. And this channel, I really pushed it hard this year, or I should say in 2018, and I'm gonna continue to push it here in 2019. And I don't know, I guess we'll continue to grow. So thanks a lot for you guys. I mean, really, once again, I do appreciate it. And especially to the Patreon supporters. Anybody that got over to duckshit.net and has subscribed, you know, you guys especially, thank you. I mean, huge thank you. The funding that you guys have given me, it goes towards the projects that I share and of course, video recording equipment that I've been upgrading here. And that stuff has been really expensive. So once again, duckshit.net if you want to support me. I really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get to this project. In this tent garage right here is a zipper. And there's Ruby. Give the camera a second to adjust to the light. It looks like it adjusted faster than my eyes did. Alright. Underneath that back seat is usually... what is all that? Something on the back seat. I will bet that there was one day I actually left the door open here on this car. And I bet you one of the dirty friggin' cats got in here with the dirty feet and the muddy rain. And got up there and did their thing, crawling around in my car, which is my own fault. Damn it, that door seat is really hard to lift. Ooh, that was really hard to stretch, but I didn't want to take the seat completely out. Alright, there's our box. Let's put that seat back where it belongs. In this box is a brand new distributor, brand new points condenser, the works. It's all in there. I bought that sucker some years ago just as a backup in case I needed it, because I thought Ruby had a problem, and turned out I was able to put Ruby's distributor back together with the parts I had and didn't need it. So let's go ahead and check this sucker out. Let's go up to the shop up front where out that noisy friggin' dog is. Shut up! Dun 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 dun. There's not Ruby. Damn it, I keep interchanging their names, and that's not who Ruby is. That is Eleanor, my 1956 Volkswagen Chop Top, who unfortunately saw her demise in Hurricane Ivan. I've since rebuilt her the best I could with the parts that I had, using a lot of refrigerators, appliances, and the whole works, and now she is what she is, because I knew I wouldn't ever get her straight or perfect, so I built her into a custom. Boom! There's the story. Anyway, this is what the distributor is for. It's for this engine that's down under there. It's in this box here. Ow! Ooh, that's some sharp metal. I don't know why the hell I just did that. No, it didn't cut me, but damn, what the hell was I thinking? Had no depth perception looking through the lens of the camcorder here. Alright, there's our distributor. It is, what I remember, a proper vacuum advance. And it's got 2 wires on it. That's out of the ordinary. You know what? Wait a minute, hang on. I thought this was points and condenser. Maybe it's an electronic. Oh yeah, I got me an electronic distributor. Well, how about that? That's going to make it a whole lot easier to set up. I don't have to set a point gap on it now. Well, this is a good thing. That's a Pertronics electronic ignition. These are good. It's a brand new distributor. It's probably Chinese. I'll bet you it's Chinese, but we'll check the advancing curve on it to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do. But really the key was I wanted a double advance, single vacuum double advance distributor, and that's what this is. So that should be all the parts that I need here to put that sucker together on that engine. So let's go ahead and roll some shit out of the garage here, and let's make something happen. Alright, as you probably saw in the montage, I went ahead and turned over the coil that you see here. And yeah, I know it was on upside down, but the reason why is because this wire is obviously not going to reach to the coil when it's the other way around. So some people did call me out on that. You guys are right. Yes, the coil, I typically do put them the other direction. Now, this wire reaches just barely. I do have a longer wire somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I'll just keep digging until I find it. But right now, this is like the exact length it needs to be without putting too much stress on it right here. So I think that's gonna work. Okay, we got that set. Let's go ahead and start getting some of this other stuff put together. Take all these spark plug wires that I don't need, push them aside. Alright, now I have a plastic cover to go on the inside of here, but we're not going to mess with that right now. I've actually had some bad experience with those. Sometimes they just ride up from where they're supposed to be, and they get all chewed up. Okay, that's locked in. Now I'm an idiot because what I should have done before I put the distributor in was got it in top dead center for cylinder number 1. If I had done that, then I would know which way is number 1 right here on the rotor. But I didn't do that. So for those of you that are watching, wind this around to make sure you're top dead center from number 1. And remember, we do remember where number 1 was on this distributor, which was actually at this marking, wherever the hell it is. Now I don't see it. It's pretty easy to see the other day, but anyway, there's a marking on this distributor, and it was over here on this side. Number 1 may not be there anymore. In fact, number 1 may be over here. I've seen distributors point a lot of different ways. It also depends on how the distributor drive was installed on here, if it was installed correctly, backwards, or even just completely misaligned. And I had one engine that was actually like that. It was just completely wrong. Alright, let's start hooking this stuff up. Got the choke goes here. Got our positive and negative wires. The negative wire is the only one that connects to the negative side of the coil. The positive one connects on the positive with everything else. And on this third connector over here, from when I switched that connector out on the distributor, or the switch connector out up here on the coil, I added another wire connector, so that way we can put on number 3. Alright, what a little mess of wires that turned into, but that's only going to be temporary. Just trying to get this thing timing set today. Okay. Alright, that's locked into place. I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, that wire is really on the short side. I think it's going to get the job done for this testing today, though. I don't like spark plug wires touching any other wires. I also don't like them zip tied together, because I noticed that when they get a little pinched or a little bit crushed, they tend to spark between each other, and you end up with misfiring. And just make sure that these wires are out of the way, because you don't want them going into belts or anything. Okay. Now, going with the assumption that number 1, I think ordinarily it would be here, because I think you put the vacuum diaphragm in the front, or the rear technically, although I have seen them like that before too, but I don't remember the clips ever being in this position. You know what, let's just go with that. That just seems correct, because that's usually how the vacuum line would be routed. Alright, number 1 we believe is this one, or at least it was earlier, which means that one should go there. This one should go here, taking the same positions from the distributor cap. Alright, that's out of the way. Let's get this distributor. This is a good distributor that's going to now be the spare inside the fastback, because I'm not convinced it's bad. I'm just convinced it's not the best application for a Volkswagen engine for the street. As I've said before, it's perfectly good for an industrial application. If you're running it in a generator or a compressor or something that keeps a rather standard or solid RPM, where it's not revving up all the time as you would when you're leaving from a stoplight, for example. So yeah, that's a good distributor with a good coil and a good set of points that are already gapped. Just got to change out that rubber gogie that's missing on there, and we'll be good to go. Alright. Now what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to get my camera light, because it's starting to get a little dark out here. And let's get that set up, and we'll see if we can get this video recorded so that way you guys can see this thing running. Alright everybody, how's that for lighting? I think that's much better. Okay, back to where we were at here. You know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get a vacuum line to connect to the distributor down here. And that's rather critical. Otherwise, everything I'm doing here today is just bullshit. Alright, let's go ahead and find me a vacuum line and get that set up. I've got the battery charging right now. Just to show real quickly here because everybody's doubting me on this too. But if you notice, there's a plug here, there's a plug here, there's a plug here, there's a plug here, and there's a plug down here on the intake manifold. These are places that people said that I haven't had things plugged or where I was getting vacuum leaks, and these plugs are on here real good. They're not the ones I want to keep on here though because they're all mismatched, they're all different colors. This is probably going to be the carburetor that stays on here because it does run pretty good, but I still need to fine tune it. And we're going to demonstrate what's wrong with it, and I believe it's still going to have issues running, particularly when I full throttle it, even with a proper vacuum advanced distributor on here. You're about to find out, so I'm about to disprove what everybody's telling me once again. Alright, be back in just a second with a vacuum line. Alright, this line I've got on here is actually a little bit small. Smaller diameter than I want it to be, but it does fit. Now typically there's a hard line that's supposed to go up and over. And why does it have an up and over? It's actually a reverse drip loop. The concept is any moisture that goes in there stays in the carburetor and gets sucked down in the engine versus dripping down into the vacuum diaphragm, because it can, if it's fuel, essentially eat through the diaphragm. So we're going to route this up and over. I'm going to make sure there's enough line here that I can do that. I don't know where my hard line is at, but I can always make a new one. Add some old brake line or something, make that work. Alright, for the time being though, we're just going to cut this one just like this. I'm going to pull off this plug that's on here. Here we go. Yeah, I said it might be too small of a diameter, but it actually might be just right. There we go. Look at that. Alright, I think we're in pretty good shape. Go ahead and get our oil light set up here. You guys made fun of me for this one, because in the one video I allowed you guys to watch it fall down, which I didn't think was a big deal. It only fell down a couple times in that video, and it never fell down before then, and it never fell down since. So, we're going to leave right where it's at. Get this out the way. Alright, let's get our battery connections hooked up, grab our timing light, and prepare to get this thing set. And we're actually going to have to set it with the timing light right off the bat, and you actually have to do that with the vacuum line disconnected. And then we'll put it on at the end and make sure that it max advances the way it's supposed to. Get our positive wires here hooked up. Alright, fuel pump is pumping. We got our oil light on. What's with all the weird buzzing here? That's what. There we go. Fuel pump was running directly off the charger instead of off the battery. The charger came disconnected. Probably should pump a little fuel in there. There it is. Okay. Here we go. Why is it turning over so slow? Okay. There was clearly a short circuit somewhere, because one of my wires just burned the fuck up. Okay, after some investigation here, looks like my positive wire that was feeding the coil got shorted. And how it happened was the little wire here to the idle shutoff plunger slipped off because the connection on it needed to be recrimped, and it touched the body of the coil. So you can see how that's burnt up, but anything after that is not. It didn't fry the electronic ignition because that was not in circuit. It actually routed around that. That's what the definition of a short is. It actually shorted right to ground. So what we've got here is a cooked wire. I'm gonna have to make a new one of these. Either that or put a little shrink wrap on it, because in actuality it's not a bad wire. But this green one here, this green one is shot. Yeah, we're not using that again. That's gonna go in the recycling pile for copper. Obviously that is just cooked. Didn't take long. I mean, it started smoking and I immediately ripped the wires off of it. But well, in hindsight here with this wire, I should have gone over the engine one more time and just made sure that all the connections were still tight. The one I did not check, and even if you go back and look earlier in the video, I never mentioned, was having a look at the idle plunger, the idle shutoff plunger. It just shorted out to that coil body, and it cooked this wire, and I mean, it really made short work of it going directly from the battery to ground. It was a long wire, so of course it took a few more seconds than it would normally if it were a little bitty short wire. But it did burn up, and I immediately ripped the wires right off the battery, and didn't start a fire or anything. It could have. It sure stunk like hell though. The smell is still in my nose. But that's gonna wrap up the video for today. In daylight tomorrow, I'm actually going to get a new wire. I've got plenty of wire, and we'll hook everything up, and we'll make an attempt to fire this thing up again. I hope the camera was recording at the time when all the smoke came off of everything, because yeah, that was an accident. I mean, even I have accidents, and I'm sure somebody's gonna tell me, well, you know, you should have put a fuse in it. Yeah, I probably should have, but typically for temporary hookup wires like this, honestly, this is the first time I've ever burned one up. And I can tell you actually as to why, and that's because I was in a hurry to try to get a video recorded today for you guys, and I'm gonna put myself out there. That's actually what it was. I mean, I threw caution at the wind, and it was all about just trying to get that video up today. Anyway, I failed. I burned up a wire, and thankfully not much else but a wire. But we'll see if anything else is cooked on this thing, and if it turns out to be a bigger problem, like I burned up the coil or something, which honestly I doubt it. All the shorting was external to the electronic components. But I think that's it for now. So please, you know, give me that like for burning up something. I cooked that sucker. Please comment, you know, subscribe, pluck that little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. And hopefully it'll be warm in the morning. I mean, it's cold out here. Once again, it's about 40 degrees, but the wind is not blowing today, so it's really not so bad. I'm out here in just a sweatshirt, as you can see. And only my nose is cold and my pinkies. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. So anyways, thanks you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Check out Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on the Facebook group page, and if you'd like to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks a lot, you guys. We'll see you later. Ha 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 ha!